For the last decade or so, the story of AI has been pretty simple, right? The more human knowledge we feed these models, the smarter they get. But we're at this incredible turning point. A really fundamental shift is happening. It's moving from AI learning from us to AI learning from itself. Okay, so let's dive right into what this massive transition is all about. So, what does happen when an AI has literally read the entire internet? I mean, think about that for a second. This isn't some far-off thought experiment. Nope. It's the central, number one problem that AI developers are wrestling with right now. If the fuel for AI is all this data that we humans create, what happens when that tank finally runs dry? All right, section 1, hitting the data wall. This first part of our story, it really starts with a hard limit. I'm talking about a point where the old way of building AI just stops working. Yeah, that's right. The huge models we're seeing today, they've basically consumed the entire high-quality public internet. Every book, every single scientific paper, every piece of code you can imagine. The well of human data is seriously running dry. And this has created what everyone in the industry is now calling the data wall. The old strategy of just making the models bigger and bigger, that's over. Okay, so if you can't find more data, what's the next move? Well, the answer is, it's kind of audacious, but it's also brilliant. You make it yourself. Welcome to the era of synthetic data. And what's so fascinating is how precise this gets. Researchers have actually found a kind of magic number. The sweet spot for training a new model isn't just throwing 100% synthetic data at it. No, it's a mix. About 30% of this high-quality, rephrased synthetic data, combined with 70% of good old natural human text. And the result of getting that 30% mix just right, it's a massive boost in efficiency. We're talking about models reaching their target intelligence 5 to 10 times faster. So why? What's the secret sauce? Well, you can think of synthetic data as this purified, super concentrated learning signal. It just cuts out all the noise and the fluff and the redundancy of human chatter and gets straight to the good stuff. But here's the catch. Creating that perfect synthetic data isn't easy. There's this fundamental tension you have to deal with. On one side, you have what are called base models. Think of these as your wild creative artists. They can generate incredibly diverse, out there ideas, but they're messy, often totally incoherent. Then, on the other side, you have instruct models. These are like your disciplined, sharp-eyed editors. The output is super high quality, but it's also kind of safe, a little repetitive, maybe even boring. So the big question is, how do you get the best of both worlds? And this is where the solution comes in, and it's just brilliant. It's a two-step process called BARE, that stands for Base Refine. So in phase 1, you just let that creative base model go absolutely wild, generating a ton of diverse, interesting, messy text. Then, in phase 2, the disciplined instruct model steps in, cleans it all up, and refines it into high-quality, perfectly usable training data. It's that perfect partnership we were just talking about, right? You get all the unconstrained creativity of the wild artist, but then you get the sharp polish and the precision of a top-notch editor. This one simple idea, well, it unlocks the ability to generate a nearly infinite stream of high-quality data. All right, let's keep going because we're about to take a really giant leap here. I mean, it's one thing for an AI to generate more text, right? That's cool. But it is something else entirely for an AI to generate its own curriculum, to literally teach itself how to think. And this is the core idea right here, the self-improvement loop. The AI stops being this passive student, just learning from whatever textbook we give it. Instead, it becomes an active learner. It starts creating its own problems, judging its own answers, and getting smarter and smarter with every single cycle. So one of the first huge breakthroughs in this area was an algorithm called STAR, which stands for self-taught reasoner. And you gotta look at step 3 here, rationalize. This is the absolute genius move. When the model gets an answer wrong, it doesn't just toss it out. No, it's given the correct answer, and then it's forced to figure out a logical path to get there. It's literally learning from its own mistakes by reverse engineering the right way to think. And the impact of this is, well, it's staggering. By learning the process of reasoning, not just memorizing a bunch of facts, a STR model can achieve the same level of performance as a traditionally fine-tuned model that is 30 times larger. Think about that. Intelligence is starting to become decoupled from just sheer size. And that leads us to the ultimate expression of this whole idea, something called the absolute zero paradigm. Now, in this scenario, the AI needs exactly 0 from us to get started. No data, no questions, nothing. It generates its own problems completely from scratch, and then it learns by solving them inside some kind of verifiable environment, like a code interpreter. So to pull this off, the AI essentially has to bootstrap the entire scientific method for itself. It learns the 3 fundamental modes of thought. There's deduction. If I have this code and this input, what's the output going to be? Then there's abduction. Okay, I have the code and the output. What must the input have been? And finally, induction. I've got a bunch of inputs and outputs. What's the code that connects them? The AI is literally learning to think like a scientist. Okay, so great. We've built these hyper-intelligent models that can teach themselves. Awesome. But there's a big problem. They're gigantic. They're way too expensive to run for most everyday tasks. So the next big question is, how do you shrink them down without losing all that magic? Well, the challenge is you can't just have a little student model copy the homework from the big teacher model. It just doesn't work. When you try that, you get this phenomenon that researchers call cargo cult reasoning. The student perfectly mimics the style of thinking, these long, confident, step-by-step explanations, but it doesn't actually get the logic underneath. It looks smart, it sounds smart, but it's just confidently wrong. Turns out, a much smarter way to teach is through mistakes. There's a framework called Eat It, and here's how it works. It gives the student model 2 examples. First, a positive trace, which shows the perfect reasoning path to the right answer. But then it also gives it a negative trace, a path that looks almost identical but makes one tiny critical mistake and goes off the rails to a wrong answer. By comparing the 2, the student learns to spot that crucial fork in the road where reasoning either succeeds or fails. And this is why this whole idea of distillation is so incredibly important. It's the bridge. It's what takes a world-changing AI that's stuck in a lab and costs millions to run and puts that same power into a fast, efficient model that can live right on your phone or your laptop. But, and this is a big but, this entire incredible self-learning ecosystem is resting on a knife's edge. There's a really profound risk that's looming over this whole synthetic paradigm. It's a problem called model collapse. And here's what it is. If an AI system only ever learns from data that was generated by other AIs, it starts to forget. It forgets the richness, the detail, the weirdness of the real world. The whole system just starts feeding on itself, losing all its diversity and getting trapped in this echo chamber of its own statistical averages, until eventually its output is just meaningless noise. Yeah, the photocopy analogy is absolutely perfect for this. You know how it goes. The first copy looks sharp. The second copy is a little fuzzier. You make a copy of that one, and it's worse. By the 10th generation, you can't even tell what the original picture was supposed to be. That's exactly what happens to an AI's grasp on reality if it doesn't get fresh input from the real, human world. But here's the good news. The solution is actually pretty straightforward. As you can see here, you can't replace all the human data. You have to use what's called an accumulation strategy. By keeping a small anchor, just 10 to 30% of real, human-generated data in the training mix, you create this kind of gravitational pull back to reality. It's enough to keep the model from just drifting off into its own little world. And that brings us to our final big question. Think about the journey we just went on. We started with humans as the only teachers, the ones providing all the data. But now, AI is generating its own curriculum, teaching itself how to reason. So, as the synthetic intelligence transition picks up speed, our role has to change, right? We're no longer just the providers of answers. Maybe we're becoming the architects of the right questions and the final arbiters of what's actually true. So, what does that future look like?